What filters do you use for your long exposure shots? I've got an awesome deal for you, and if you check out the video, we're talking ND filters today. What's happening, YouTubers? Today we are discussing ND filters and my choice of what I use for my long exposure shots. I'm going to give you a little bit of background information. So when I was shooting with the Canon 17 to 40, I was using the Haida 10 stop ND filter. So 10 stops I could get in reasonable light, not bright sunlight, about a minute, 30 seconds to 60 seconds of long exposure. But whenever I wanted to shoot in pretty bright sunlight, then I still wasn't getting what I wanted to get, and I wanted to get up to sort of like a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of long exposure shots. So when I switched out to the Fuji system, these were the ones I originally had for the Canon. These are 77mm filter threads, and as you guys know, when I do a lot of landscape shooting, I use the Samyang 12mm f2. Filter thread on this is a 67mm filter thread. So I simply purchased a step-up ring, which is about 3 or 4 quid, again on Amazon. 67mm to 77mm step-up ring, so I could put them on my Samyang lens and shoot them that way. That saved me having to buy these again, and at the time when I bought the 10 stop one, it cost me roughly around 60 or 70 pounds just for one ND filter. That is very reasonably priced, because some of the big brands can cost hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars or whatever currency you use. These, for the price, are simply awesome. I cannot highly recommend Haida filters. They're so good. So from my experience of having a brilliant filter and a 10 stop filter, I then purchased a further filter, which is a 6 stop filter. That's the ND64, and I double stack them together. You can screw them together, giving me 16 stops. What that means is I can basically shoot in any type of lighting situation, even at midday if you wanted to do that, and I can get 2-minute long exposure shots. And by double stacking them, I'm not losing any clarity, any quality. It's still there. So I was on Amazon and I was looking at what the cost of these filters are today, and is it worth me sharing this information for you? And I really believe it is. If you want to get some long exposure shots, but you feel restricted because you can't do it at the times of the day that you want to do it, or the times of the day that you can do it, at the moment you can pick up 3 Haida ND filters which come in a pack. You get a 3 stop filter, a 6 stop filter, and the big boy 10 stop filter, all for 74 quid. I'm going to drop you a link in the description. Check them out. Seriously, do consider it if you are into long exposure shooting, or you're wanting to get into long exposure shooting. And you can buy a pack of these 3 for the Samyang or any lens for a 67mm filter thread for around 75 quid. Obviously, if you use a 10 to 24, the filter thread on that is slightly bigger. It's a 72mm. So I'll have a little hunt around, and if I can find a deal like that, I'll also post that in the thread so you can have a look. But seriously, do think about Haida filters if you like to do long exposure shooting. I've used these for about 4 to 5 years now, never had a problem with them. They are absolutely fantastic. I'll show you guys some images that I have from my long exposure shooting with these ND filters, just to give you a taster of the sort of long exposure time that you can get with them. And another quick tip for you is, if you use a 16 to 55mm f2.8, get the step up ring. So if you're like me who's got Samyang and you sometimes use a 16 to 55, get yourself this step up ring. Again, it's a 67-77mm step up ring. I'll put that also in the descriptions box so you can have a look. These don't cost a lot of money and you can use these filters on both lenses. Do not buy them, you know, don't buy a pack for the bigger 67, for the 77mm filter thread and for the 67mm, because that'll cost you, you know, double. Do what I had done, they were absolutely fine. Save yourself a couple of quid or a buck or €1. I'll catch you guys real soon. Thank you for watching and cheers, bye.